If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Just doing it big, you know?
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you about the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week, honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week, kslsports.com/contest, and listen every Thursday to our show, Jake and Ben, for the winner is the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Ben, the Cavs came up short last night against the Detroit Pistons. Donovan Mitchell, familiar around here, not a great game. Did lead his team in scoring with 23 points, but he was 9 of 19 from the field. He was 4 of 10 from three, only went to the line 2 times, which is relevant. He was a -7 on the night as Cleveland came up short, and Donovan did not play well in the fourth quarter in particular.
And traditionally has not.
No, it's not his thing. But he did take to the microphones after the game and gave us a great soundbite. Are you ready? Let's go for it.
The free throw disparity is not why we lost tonight. I want to make sure I say that, but I don't know. I'm trying to get downhill, and a friend of mine got fined for talking about flop, so I'm not going to try to double down. But I mean, like, I feel like that's what I got to do at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to get downhill, trying to get to the bucket, and sometimes people are in my way, and I'm trying to fight through contact, and I'm not getting these calls. You said I had, like 13 in the last series, like 16? I mean, I'm just not getting the calls. I don't know why. I don't flop. Maybe that's why. And this isn't just a tonight thing. This has been the entire series, and it's frustrating a little bit, but because I'm such a dynamic driver, but I can't control that. So if I'm not going to call for me, I got to find a way to finish through that. But you know me, I'm never one to sit here and complain, and that's not why we lost the game tonight or whatever. But at some point in time, I feel like me getting to the basket's got to relate to something. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
This is Janis Joplin.
I love Janis. Crying about the officials is
song's called "Cry Baby," by the way,
becoming a thing. Dynamic driver, is that what he said?
Yeah,
I'm such a dynamic driver.
He did. He did applaud himself for how good he is. Look, this is what I love about what the Pistons are doing. You get really physical. The refs aren't going to call everything. That's been a strategy for a very long time.
That was Jerry Sloan's
thing. Is it Nolan Richardson? Who was it who did 48 minutes of hell or 40
for
minutes
Arkansas?
of hell? Yeah.
Well, Jerry's whole thing was, he led the league in fouls every year. The Jazz led the league in fouls because he said you can't call everything.
Yeah. Nolan Richardson, yeah. So they've done that, and clearly the Cavaliers don't know how to adjust, and Donovan Mitchell doesn't know how to adjust, and that is the value of having guys who are 6'6" versus 6'2" or 6'3", whatever Donovan's official measurement is, and. Yeah, again, everyone's trying to get the refs to blow the whistle more for them, and Donovan will probably get a couple more whistles after this. He didn't complain about the officials necessarily, but just said, I'm used to getting calls. I didn't get the calls, and I'm really good at driving, so why is it not happening? It may generate a few more whistles. It is not going to change the outcome of the series.
You mean like Mark Harlan at his press conference didn't change how the Big 12 officiated their football games?
Correct. The Utes still got some PI calls the next year.
I don't think that this will have any effect on the officials other than maybe they'll call fewer.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
No, but
I take it to heart.
I think a lot of it is deflection, in all honesty. Because Tim was telling me, and I didn't get a chance to hear it, he was giving a breakdown about how Donovan's wrong. And maybe he is, maybe he's not. I honestly don't care. I just wonder why. What purpose does it serve? And in my opinion, I think Donovan feels the pressure, maybe for the first time in his career. Where Cleveland, we've already seen the rumors, right, Ben? We've already seen that, well, if they don't go anywhere, they're going to get rid of Donovan. Donovan, at some point, has to prove that he's the player he tells everybody he is. Mm-hmm. I would guess there's a ton of pressure on that guy to live up to whatever the spida is and whatever the narrative has been created around him. He's always wanted to be the shoe guy and the star and I'm the team's best player. Well, at some point, the rubber has to meet the road. And I wonder, let me put it, remember when he said, we will never go out in the playoffs like that again after they lost to, who did they lose to? It was his second playoff run when they lost to Houston, maybe. And it was this kind of entitled take, but what you would think is the right thing to say. And it was almost naive in a way. And he's never gotten past the second round in the playoffs. Right. And at some point, if you were an all-NBA player and the team's best player and a dynamic driver and all this, at some point you have to deliver. And I bet he's feeling the pressure of not delivering. And so what do? You go out and complain about the officials, make excuses. And I do find it hilarious when somebody talks for minutes about making excuses and said, not to make excuses. Okay. All right. I don't buy it from Jaylen Brown either. And by the way, you can rub the free throw attempt numbers and offensive foul numbers and in everybody's face, and you're still crying about officials. You're still not good enough to get it done.
The problem is, and Donovan's right, is that he is the best player on the team. And when you say that after your second year or your third year, you do set yourself up for the idea that, that means inevitably we're going to get to the third round or, we're going to get to the finals and I'm going to be the best player on that team. And that really says how great I am. I'm laying out right now what I expect for myself and building out this legacy for myself. Yes, the problem is if over and over, and we've seen this with a lot of players historically, and I'll bring up a couple of comps here in a moment, when you say you're the best player on the team and then you can only get to the second round of the playoffs, that ends up becoming a negative for your legacy. Most notably, T-Mac was the guy who never could get to the conference finals. Remember the Jazz beat him when he was a member of the Rockets. He never got there as a member of the Orlando Magic.
Or the Raptors.
Or the Raptors, and he was knocked for that. Chris Paul was really knocked for it until Chris Paul finally broke through and got to the conference finals, then finally the finals with the Suns. But Chris Paul was always viewed as maybe not a playoff choker, but for whatever reason his teams didn't win, and that became his reputation, not a why is the team around him not playing better? He keeps telling us he's the best player on the team and they don't get anywhere. What's wrong there? So that's where Donovan is finding himself. So yeah, I bet you there was immense pressure when he had a team built around him in Utah and then a team traded for him in Cleveland and retooled around him again, and now they've gone out and gotten James Harden, which, as we said, is kind of the ultimate desperation rebuilding sign because James Harden is seemingly always available 6 months after he lands in his new town. And the team that takes him, it's not quite the old maid that we talked about with Bradley Beal last year, but clearly teams are happy to move off of him, and they don't seem to be brutalized for doing it. So
yeah, I don't think that's why the Clippers moved off him, but I get your point. I think he twisted arms to get out of
absolutely.
town.
Yes, he wanted to get out of town as well, but they were also going to lose, and he wasn't changing that all that much. So now Donovan has earned the reputation as the best player. He's told everyone he's the best player. He's told everyone he expects to go further. And when they don't go further, now it's on his shoulders. So I get why he's stressed about it. And I don't, crying about it, I don't know, but is going to the only other logical place he can go to is, well, I must not be getting either a fair whistle or enough of an opportunity to get to the foul line because I can't compete the way I want to. Well, the problem is you. And that doesn't mean you're a bad player. It's not. But again, as we talked about it to open the show, there is a thin but important line between the Dwayne Wades of the world and the Donovan Mitchell of the world. And it's a big gap.
Donovan Mitchell should start playing like Mike Conley and buy into the third or fourth best player on the team role. That's how he gets to a championship, I would say. He's not the 1A on a championship. He's just not. I mean, you can blame it on his height all you want, but it is true.
I remember when he got traded to the Cavs, thinking to myself immediately, looking at what the Jazz were getting back and looking at what the Cavs were getting, and thinking, wow, they're really betting on Evan Mobley to become a superstar. Because the Jazz learned the flaw of having Donovan Mitchell as your best player. That's why Danny Ainge traded Donovan Mitchell. That's why Justin Zanuck traded Donovan Mitchell. They recognized this guy is, if not the best player on the team, maybe you would argue Rudy Gobert was, but is the face of the team, holds the keys to the franchise, and as long as that's the case, you just have a low ceiling. It's a good ceiling. Making the playoffs is cool, but I think Ryan Smith wants to win a title. I think Danny Ainge wants to win a title. I know Justin Zanuck wants to win a title, and now I know Austin Ainge wants to win a title. And they haven't told me this, but I think it's clear by their actions that they didn't believe you could with Donovan Mitchell as your guy.
Donovan Mitchell as a max guy.
Yes.
Because the problem is he's paid like the number one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if Donovan Mitchell is your third best player,
right,
and you have a way to get two players better than he is, keep him. The Jazz didn't have a way to get the lottery picks they needed to get a player better than Donovan Mitchell, or the trade assets required to get a player better than Donovan Mitchell. And the Cavaliers thought they had one in Evan Mobley. They thought Evan Mobley was going to be on this trajectory as a nearly 7-foot two-way player, that he could become Anthony Davis or whoever you want, Kevin Garnett, whoever they thought he was going to turn into. And then Donovan rightfully slots into 1B or 2 or whatever you want to call his position on the team. And then you've got a real championship roster. And Evan Mobley never turned into that, so that gamble failed. And then the question has to be, why did he not turn into that? And I'm not trying to blame Donovan for everything by any means, but did Donovan being there mean that he didn't have the runway needed to develop into that type of player? Was Evan Mobley never going to become that type of player? I don't know. But that's the flaw with their team. That's why they are capped at the exact same spot the Jazz are capped. And I don't think they regret making the Donovan Mitchell trade.
But you're saying Donovan wouldn't let Rudy be the best player on the team.
Correct.
So you think he's going to let Evan Mobley be the best player on the team? I don't know.
No,
but
right. No, that's what I was alluding to, and I probably could have been more specific. But yes, you could have thought Rudy Gobert was the best player on the team. It didn't matter as long as Donovan was here. Donovan was going to be the best player on the team.
He was going to be the one telling you that he was the best player on the team, and like you said, the face.
And when
so is he going to go to Cleveland and say, "Oh, this is Evan Mobley's back"? I doubt it.
I'm a backseat guy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, he's never done that.
No.
So
and then chased out Darius Garland and re-signed a max deal. So you got to put up or shut up. Not only is he a one-time max player, they re-upped him.
Yeah, and again, excellent player. Probably not a legit number one on a championship team, and that's where you get, to being a top 10 player in the NBA, top 5 player in the NBA. And again, it's a thin line between the 12th and the 15th and the top 5. It's not as big as I think a lot of people would indicate, but the results do bear out on the floor.
Also, if you're a top guy, you can't get taken out of a series by a good defender, which has happened to Donovan Mitchell repeatedly in the playoffs, and it's going to happen again with Osar Thompson.
Yeah, and, it's one win. They were close in this game. There were some flaws that they can obviously clean up. James Harden had 7 turnovers here, so they can get through. But I just don't think they're a finals team. And this year was a particularly wide open year for the East. When we said last year, I thought was going to be the season that Donovan Mitchell really rued not getting to the finals. Because
no, it's this year.
This year more somehow so than last year.
Yep.
And he couldn't take advantage of it last year. They lose the opening 2 games of the series against the Pacers. I don't think they got swept, but man, that was not a long series. The Pacers go to the finals. So it should have been that Donovan Mitchell team after winning 63 games or whatever it was in the regular season. This year they took a little bit of a step backwards, but they're more seasoned. You would think they would have a chance to get back there. And again, while there are pathways for them to win this series, and then they could beat either Philly or New York, whoever gets out of that next series, I do think some of their fatal flaws are indeed that. They're too fatal to advance all that far.
We're going to talk some college football at the top of the 4 o'clock hour with Adam Rittenberg. He's evaluated off seasons for the P5 college football teams. So we'll talk to him about conclusions that he came to coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. What you got Wednesday at 4:30. It's the Jake and Ben Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Not only do these guys give you the best Jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Ben, we can both agree, I think, that the Lakers are going to lose this series against Oklahoma City. Would you guess that even the Laker players believe that they're going to beat Oklahoma City?
No, I don't think they believe that.
I don't either. So that begs the question, who's going to get the blame?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The Lakers, LeBron used to winning. Somebody's going to get the blame for them getting ragdolled by Oklahoma City. Now, Luka's hamstring has been controversial, Ben. and he's been out. It was a grade 2 hamstring, which you're looking at a month and a half to 2 months.
Yeah.
And so you and I wondered why he went back to Europe.
Rub some beer on it.
That's what we kind of thought. Although we thought he went to Slovenia. He did not. He went to Spain.
It's even better. He didn't go home, but you've got a little vacation time in.
They've got
before the
vodka in
playoffs.
Spain.
Whatever, you can find whatever you want. Sure.
I think he's got a house there. Well, let's play the clip. So I've got a couple of clips for you as we digest this situation, Ben. First, your favorite reporter, Brian Windhorst.
Okay.
He went on ESPN and he talked about Luka and his hamstring recovery and going overseas. Let's go ahead and play that.
I'm a big actions over words guy.
Yes, you are.
When Luka got hurt, they sent Luka went to Spain for treatment. Have you ever heard of someone? I mean, I've heard of going to Germany.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never heard of going to Spain. Now, Luka also has a newborn who is in Slovenia, and so I certainly think if he had an opportunity to go and get some time off, go to Slovenia and see your newborn child. He lives in Madrid in the off season, And I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying, like, when they sent him overseas, that was not an indication of a minor hamstring injury.
Right.
That was like, you're not going to be doing anything for a few weeks anyway, so
Take some time.
go ahead and go to Europe because you came back 48 hours after your child was born in the middle of the season. Go to Europe. And as soon as that happened, I was like, this does not sound like a small hamstring injury. And so that is unfortunately what it looks like.
So Windhorst, at the beginning there, what you does not translate through the audio is when he says treatment, he gives the sarcastic look on the face, Ben, and then does the quotes.
Yeah.
Treatment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Treatment. Implying that there was no treatment, that he was just getting out of town.
Yeah.
And even threw in a casual blast that he didn't go to see his kid.
Yeah, he had that ugly divorce during the season, right?
I don't think they were married.
Okay. Breakup.
I think they just broke up. So anyway, there's Brian Windhorst on ESPN. Now, Luka was asked about going overseas to Spain. This was after the Windhorst thing, and Luka had availability earlier today. Let's hear from that.
Yeah, I went to Spain to do PRP. And, it's obviously, I think everybody knows that's in this, that it's one of the best countries to do that. And obviously, we talked with the Lakers doctors, so everybody agreed for me to go there. Obviously, I know and trust lots of people from Spain that I used to work before. But why I was in Spain so long is because I needed 4 days in between every shot. So I did it 4 times, so that's why I stay longer.
What did they say as far as being able to hopefully expedite your recovery after getting to Europe?
What means expedite?
Sooner, going that faster, speed it up.
Oh, I'm just in the process. I'm working every day. I feel better every day. Like I said, in the beginning they said every week, so we'll just go from there.
So Luka responds and says, everybody knows, Ben, that when you're looking for the world's best PRP treatments, where do you go?
Beautiful Spain.
Apparently Windy didn't know that.
Here's my problem with all of it. Windy has taken some shots at... I don't even want to say he's taken some shots at Luka. I do think Windy has reported accurately about Luka in the past, not trying hard enough or what some of his flaws are. And obviously he's very well connected through, A, his own sources, but B, he does his podcast with Tim McMahon, who covered Luka from his inception in Dallas, not inception, but his first season in Dallas to getting traded to the Lakers. Tim McMahon wrote a book on Luka. So there is a lot of, I think, inside behind-the-scenes knowledge there on Luka's effort. The other thing is, you remember the reason why Nico Harrison hated Luka is because they said, Luka, it's December, maybe it was January. Take 2 weeks off. Please lose some weight. Please shed a few pounds and come back healthy. And you remember Luka left and came back and put on weight?
I do.
One of the great storylines in the NBA over the last 3 years. I think it's fully fair to when Luka says, I'm leaving town to take care of myself, for everyone to be skeptical of whether or not he's actually getting real treatment.
I will get to Windy's biases in a second. I have no reason to doubt Luka actually has a hamstring injury.
Of course, no, I believe he has a hamstring injury. Absolutely.
But have you noticed all of a sudden, out there in the TalkSnap world, there's people grumpy about Luka not playing. Enter professional wrestler Ric Flair, who throws out a tweet.
Most importantly, Ric
saying,
Flair.
Obviously, they're not going to trade Luka. He's their future. He's their franchise. But do the math. He averages 33 points a game. If he has 20, LeBron has 27, and the rest of the team, they win. I would have said the same thing about Jason Tatum on the Celtics, but I'm not a Boston fan. For $46 million a year, I think you can play. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinion, and this is mine. He's not the only one. I heard a famous L.A. Line up the first one, Christian. I heard a prominent L.A. sports radio host that was calling out, saying Jason Tatum can play. Wemby's playing through concussion. Anthony Edwards is playing with a bone contusion. He even mentioned Donovan Mitchell's playing with an ankle. Where are you, Luka? There's a groundswell, Ben, of calling Luka out for not coming back and being hurt or not toughing it out.
Yeah.
So now, I will remind you who was Brian Windhorst's elementary school teacher.
Who was it?
Gloria James.
LeBron's mom.
Who has Brian Windhorst gotten every single story that he has ever published or ever broken in his entire career? Where has it come from?
Generally the LeBron James camp. Or it's regarding LeBron.
So now the windbag is going out calling out Luka for treatment.
Yeah.
Is that any coincidence? Now let's fast forward to LeBron after the game last night. Christian?
Where do you think the offensive issues are coming from right now? Obviously, that's a great defense.
Issues coming from?
Yeah.
We have a guy that averaged 37 a game. What did he average, 35 this year? 33 and a half?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you asking?
Okay, well, I'm asking, you guys...
There's the issues right there. We're playing against the number one defensive team in the NBA, as far as the ratings and everything. And when you play against great defenses, you have to have guys that can attract multiple defenders on the floor at all time. Even I felt like we had great shots. We got some great shots tonight. We missed them. But when you play against the world champions, having a guy that averages 34, 6 and 8 and 8 and 9, whatever the hell that's special. So we have to be better at finding ways to get to the blender, finding ways to get to the paint. We know they're a paint swarming team, so we have to be better with getting to the paint, not turn the ball over, and then shooting with confidence. But I feel like we got some really good looks.
Translation, Ben. If Luka wasn't such a softie, we'd be winning this thing.
And that's not what LeBron said.
That's what he meant.
But I do think it is fair when you start looking around a little bit at all the narratives. Even if you're not blaming somebody, you are shifting the narrative onto something. And again, we said this yesterday, the line between excuse and reason are very thin. The excuse, and look, the truth is they weren't going to beat the Thunder with Luka. I'm not sure the series changes at all, in all honesty. They might get swept even with Luka because the Thunder are that much better than the Lakers. But yes, even if you're not blaming Luka in this situation, you build a narrative that basically says, well, the reason we lost is because Luka wasn't here. Now, LeBron didn't say, I don't think he's trying hard enough to come back to rehab, or he's not around the team enough. But LeBron and his camp, Adele and Clutch and everybody, has always done a very good job of creating a narrative that does seem to lend itself to one conclusion.
Okay, if you want to put it nicer than I do, who are you not blaming?
Yourself.
Who are you not blaming? Not LeBron. Who are you not blaming? LeBron. In that last whole thing,
correct.
You're not blaming LeBron for 1 second.
Right.
In fact, you're hedging a little the other way and saying, well, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Luka's not there. You heard LeBron. He scores 33 points a game. How could they possibly go on? You're not blaming LeBron.
Correct.
Another way to put it, why the Lakers lost, Ben, LeBron's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron's not good enough to carry a team anymore.
Yeah.
That's not what anybody is saying. That's not what anybody in LA is saying. They're saying, oh, they'd be creaming Oklahoma City if Luka were there. If not, the other side of it going, where are you, Luka, you softy? It's shifting the blame. I still believe in this internal rivalry in the Lakers. It's not all hunky-dory, and there's no way LeBron loves being the second fiddle, let alone a second fiddle that's going to go down in flames.
No, and one of the narratives that, whether it's being said now or not, whether or not it's being said, that is going to be something we hear a lot, because you've brought this up. LeBron winning only one title in the bubble has covered up a lot of the letdown that has happened since he moved to Los Angeles.
He's been there 10 years.
Right. He's been there that long. He moved there still, I think, in his prime. Maybe if you want to say the latter half of his prime, but the prime nonetheless. He was still the best player in the NBA, I think, when he went to L.A., and that didn't change until, Jokic came over and probably stole that title. But they haven't really achieved a whole lot. And now, as we get further away from it, more people will point to why didn't they achieve more? Why didn't the Lakers get more out of LeBron? Why didn't LeBron achieve enough? You are inevitably going to hear, well, Anthony Davis was never healthy and Luka was never healthy, and that was the problem. It wasn't that LeBron didn't find a way, when the NBA had as much parity as it's ever had, to navigate that and win these championships. That, since Toronto has won one, and Milwaukee has won one, and Denver has won one, and we can go down the list of teams that have won titles that are not the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron, when they, felt like they found their fourth, fifth greatest player of all time. I don't mean that's where he ranks. I mean that, for a while they had Kareem, and before that they had George Mikan, and they've had Magic, and they've had the greatest player. They had Shaq, and they had Kobe. They had the greatest player in the NBA for stretches, and LeBron fell into that line, and all of those guys won multiple titles, and LeBron didn't. And then what's going to be the narrative why? And this is a part of it. This is already laying the groundwork for why it didn't happen, and it is not, why did LeBron not achieve more? It's, wow, all these injuries stopped LeBron from getting to the mountaintop.
Donovan Mitchell kind of did it to Mike Conley, honestly. Mike Conley's hamstring was the reason they didn't beat the Rockets.
And you need health. That's not a lie. Everybody needs health to get there. Certainly you do, but it's not every season.
All right, stay tuned. We're going to play a game coming up next called Sociopath.
Okay.
Or Truth Teller.
These are about Christian?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't put Christian as a sociopath, would you?
We don't know enough about him. My fear is that we've known him for 2 years, and neither you or I know anything about him. Do we know his last name?
Esparza.
No, I'd forgotten. He says he has a baby. I haven't seen it. What if this is all a lie? What if his wife's gluten allergy is fake? What if his dog Cowboy's fake? What if his last name isn't Esparza?
He's doing to us what that gal did to Dirk Nowitzki?
What that guy did to, what was the banking scandal last week? Yeah, the gal. Dirk.
J.P. Morgan?
J.P. Morgan? It's a J.P. Morgan situation?
Hey, that dude doubled down. He could be telling the truth still.
Okay. You see more have come out about his past lies?
That he made up
his dad
his
was dead?
Dad dying,
so
yeah.
you get time off?
Well, who hasn't done that?
Yeah, that's just a tried and true.
I worked with a guy whose grandparents died like 7 times.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding.
multiple times.
Yeah. All right, stay tuned. We'll get to our new game next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
All systems go. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson. Now, every day from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Join Scotty G and the coach coming up on Monday from RGS Exteriors from 10 to 2, 4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. Christian, play the sounder. Christian has breaking news for us.
Breaking news.
This just in as of TMZ, guys. Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russinni were spotted together on a boat in 2021, privately, just the two of them, while she was pregnant with her first son, who was later named Michael.
This is huge news.
Huge news.
This is huge.
Yeah.
This is John Edwards level.
Okay.
The story has
Not
now
quite, but
reached.
sure.
Well, we don't know if Mr. Russinni is dying of cancer, I guess.
Christian John Edwards was the front-running Democratic candidate to be the presidential candidate in 2004.
The one John Kerry ended up getting.
And revealed to have an affair and then used campaign finances to do something else. Anyways.
To deal with the problem? No,
I don't want to say that. That's why I didn't say anything.
No, it's probably better to be left unsaid.
Mm-hmm.
We've
not quite reached that with Dianna Russinni and Mike Vrabel.
If you're Mr. Russinni, you're demanding a paternity test, right?
Yes. So, again, going back to the beginning of our coverage, our round-the-clock coverage of Dianna Russinni and Mike Vrabel, my very first takeaway was, because after it kind of went beyond denial and got into, I had some very tough conversations with my family, which was what Vrabel said right before the NFL draft. My whole take was, oh man, I hope he actually told them everything. Because you and I know how these stories work. This doesn't stop. And once page 6? Starts generating 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million clicks on these stories, they assign all of their talent or whatever you want to call it, resources, to finding more. And then once they are generating that web traffic, then TMZ has to follow, or whoever has to follow.
Oh, especially since TMZ passed on the story in the first place.
The Daily Mail has to follow. So now you have the quote-unquote best in the business digging up whatever they can, and then offering huge sums of money to get dirt like this on more of the story. And this is an example of that. So I hope when Vrabel talked to his wife, Jen Vrabel, that he said, let's start with the casino. Let's talk about the boat, apparently. Let's hit all of them. Because if you leave that off and then TMZ reports about the boat, then you have to start the entire conversation over again from square one. And that's when you're actually going to lose your spouse. When you have to continue to revisit this.
Oh, that's when.
Well,
that's the breaking point.
If you want to say it should have had the breaking point should have been at the very first sign of this, I'd listen to it. I think that's totally fair, to each their own. But if you keep having to say, oh, well, yes, I did lie about that, and then yes, I did lie about that, and yes, I did lie about that, that's when you really start to have a lot of issues on your hands that become, I think, unsolvable. How many times can you break the vase, glue it back together, and still have it look like a vase?
Now, you, Ben, worked at a hotel. Tell me if you think this is a salacious detail or not.
Okay.
Let's see. The NFL duo booked the vessel in Putnam County, Tennessee in June 2021. According to a source with direct knowledge who also says the Tennessee Titans head coach and the journalist were the only people aboard for their 2 to 3 hour rental.
Okay.
So not a whole day.
Well, yeah, the hotels I worked at, Jake, didn't have an hourly rate.
Mine either. For good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you have to get the whole day, you're more likely to, use it for
a whole day,
like a business trip.
Yeah,
or
whatever.
As
You've
opposed
got a meeting
to,
in the morning.
Yeah.
Other things.
Right. Very short rental. Maybe it's not a big lake. So you're saying erroneous detail?
No, I'm not. It's just not where I was taking the story. But when was this? When in 2021?
June.
Do
we think they had gotten their vaccinations yet?
You're turning this into a COVID story?
No, I'm just kind of wondering, that's kind of when the general populace was starting to get access to the vaccine. I think was June 2021, if I remember correctly. That's when everyone on Instagram was posting that they'd gotten the shot. So I wonder, A, if they had gotten that together. But B, were they on the road again, already traveling?
Oh, they never stopped. Right?
Yeah, apparently they never stopped. So, no, this is... there's a chance, Jake, that this story, Christian breaking news for the world, is the straw that breaks the camel's back.
You think
and
it's
I
the
mean
boat?
that. Yeah, I think the boat alone, while pregnant for a couple of hours, pregnant with the son who eventually is named Michael. When the guy you're cheating on him with is named Michael.
So does it make the story better or worse if the kid is not his?
Oh, well, if the kid is Mike Vrabel's, that's way worse. Because then...
The boat situation in particular.
Shake Shack is...
It's really...
He's raising somebody else's son, which that happens all the time, but I mean not in that
Do you
fashion.
think she knows?
Yes, I suspect. Man, I hope so. I hope so.
You're renting a boat while you're pregnant? For 2 to 3 hours? A 3-hour tour?
Not worried about the seasickness.
I don't know. Maybe she doesn't.
Maybe they were just fishing.
Fishing, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they pulled in some largemouth bass that day. I don't know. It doesn't look good, though.
It does not look
It
good.
does
And
not
again,
look good.
I go back to I really hope when Dianna talked to Shake Shack and when Mike talked to Jen that they said, I'm going to tell you about some things. This is going to hurt.
Oh, she didn't tell him about the boat.
I bet
Sit down. I hope you have a while because it's a long story.
There's a lot of interactions here. And when Shake Shack says, I need to know everything. Tell me what it was. Tell me when it was. And she says, a couple-ish. A couple.
Ah, we were at the bar that one time.
Yeah,
a couple of hours at a time. Am I right?
And then the boat story comes out. That's when, again, you can't glue the vase back together again.
I think we passed that a long time ago.
Maybe. But apparently we didn't because Jen and Shake Shack are still into it.
Yeah, well, Shake Shack is obviously a sad little man, and I don't know what Miss Vrabel's problem is. She's more of the addicted to money type, I would guess.
It's possible. I don't know.
No, I've been telling you, the Carmela Soprano, can't leave the lifestyle.
Yeah. So, anyways, the boat story certainly is maybe the most.
The timing doesn't look good.
The timing looks really bad. Yes, the timing with the pregnancy and all of it does not look good at all. The name of the son
Not
also
good.
being the name of the captain of the boat.
Probably shouldn't do that if you're carrying on an affair.
Unless Dianna was driving the boat. I don't want to be sexist and assume that she wasn't manning the boat.
Who cares who's driving the boat?
Just saying. So, yeah.
What are you saying, Ben?
There's a chance
this is
it.
The subtle sexism of assuming the man drives the boat is your big issue here?
That's your big details. That's too hairy for me.
Big takeaway. I don't want to say she couldn't drive the boat. We insinuated she has no idea who's the father of her own child, but she could have been driving that boat easy. Don't pull that crap around here, pal.
TMZ in this article also says Vrabel and Russinni appeared cautious about photos being taken. She declined to pose at all with the staff. Vrabel agreed to snap one picture, but he allegedly asked that no images be publicly posted.
Then what's next? I can't wait to see pictures of them at the Shake Shack.
They were it's his favorite burger. This is a bad story. It's a great story.
It's an amazing story.
It's an amazing story. But man, there is some real you know how grief comes. Grief kind of comes in waves. It kind of comes and goes, and it comes and goes. And I'm sure there are days when Jen's like, all right, Shake Shack. It's like, I can do this.
There was a boat.
Things are going to be okay. Driving home, gets a text, and it just says, the boat? ? And it just just starts over. The healing process starts over. Poor Shake Shack.
Oh, that's great breaking news.
Thank you, Christian.
Way to go, TMZ. Way to start doing your job. You passed on the first photos. What are you doing? All right. Coming up next, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk a little college football.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
excited.
it. We're going to have some off-season college football talk. Adam Rittenberg is going to join us. He writes for ESPN. He and a couple other writers have done a long project evaluating the off-seasons of all of the P5, P4, what is it, P9 schools. We'll get to that coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.